Earth, the third planet from the Sun, or better known as the blue planet due to one natural resource: water. On Earth, water has acted as the blood of the planet that has been circulated by its veins, known as rivers and streams. The global distribution of water by rivers, streams, and clouds have resulted in the vast array of plants, animals, and humans on Earth. Water has created all known forms of life, but recently, multinational corporations have realized that it creates something else: money, and lots of it. The capitalistic views that are dominant throughout the world has allowed the water industry to pull in around $425 billion a year while still wanting more. The major corporations include Vivendi, Suez, and Thames Water, who have all begun to take the public's water, privatize it, and sell it back at about 1,000 times the price of tap water. In order to obtain this water, more than 50,000 massive dams have been built that traps the water and reroutes the Earth's natural hydrologic cycle. These dams are clogging the rivers or veins of the world, which by result is killing the planet. These companies are also mining groundwater in order to create major brands of bottled water, which is causing the Earth to collapse in on itself. Several sinkholes are emerging that are creating massive caverns, and if we continue to pump groundwater at around 15 times faster than it is replenishing, then this problem will escalate until entire cities are consumed. Groundwater is now recharging at an extremely slow rate due to the increased building of roads and houses, which is not allowing the rainwaters to penetrate the surface and saturate the soil. Water rains down, but it just runs off back into the ocean, creating desertification. This effect is becoming more and more prominent as time goes on, and if it continues, we will never be able to preserve our planet. The mass manufacturing of cars is also creating an increase of fossil fuel emissions and pollutions in the atmosphere. These pollutants are getting trapped in the clouds and are then being rained down, further damaging the planet. Even though these capitalistic views are greatly affecting the environment, privatization is also greatly affecting humans. Areas around the world where people are being negatively affected include Australia, South Korea, India, several countries in Africa, and Bolivia, to name a few. Bolivia is one prime example of what occurs when water is privatized in a country. In 1997, the World Bank forced water privatization on Cochabamba and El Alto La Paz by threatening to cut off all water development loans if they didn't cooperate. Once this happened and their water was privatized in 1999, prices skyrocketed to a point which people could not afford, while the quality of the water began to greatly decrease. It was even illegal for the citizens to collect rainwater. Since the people could not afford the water, and they could not collect the water, they began to fight back for their water. Led by Bolivian farmer Oscar Oliveira, the citizens revolted by storming the streets in desperation to reclaim their rightful water supply from the grips of Bechtel. A water war had begun, in which the people had to unite and mobilize in the faces of these corporations and literally fight for their lives. After multiple civilians were brutalized by police and controlled by water privatization for several years, in 2007, the Bolivian government ended their contracts with Suez, and the control of the water systems was returned back to the people of La Paz. This story should act as a warning and an alert to what occurs when water is privatized, and what extent we will have to go to in order to salvage it back. Since approximately 97% of the Earth's water is salt water, leaving only about 3% of drinkable water, these multinational corporations have begun to build desalination plants in their attempts to maintain control over society in the future. The problem with these plants, though, is that once these corporations obtain the water and refine it using expensive technology, they will be the only ones on Earth with drinkable water. Since water is absolutely necessary for survival, these corporations will have complete control over society and our lives. Instead of supporting the production of these plants by purchasing bottled water at almost 1,000 times the price of tap water, we should begin to boycott these corporations so they will not receive income to further expand their clout. The only reason why people prefer bottled water anyways is because instead of actually tasting the water, they taste the brand. People are being virtually brainwashed into believing that bottled water is healthier, cleaner, and tastier than tap water due to one thing: advertising. In several blind experiments where people were instructed to taste tap water and bottled water without knowing which they were actually drinking, about 75% of them were shocked to find out that they truly preferred the taste of tap water. Tap water is also generally cleaner because it is regulated by hundreds of officials in the Environmental Protection Agency, while all bottled water is regulated by less than one person in the FDA. Even though upper-class citizens are not directly feeling the effects of water privatization right now, this is a monumental problem that will soon affect everybody if it is not taken into consideration. Now is the time to come together as an entire race. Now is the time to become conscious of the catastrophic outcomes of our actions, and now is the time to save ourselves and our planet. We can all play a role to conserve water on Earth by doing such things as turning off the tap when brushing our teeth, installing dual flush toilets, and also making sure that you have enough available water around your home in order to survive. If we do this, there will be no more market or demand for water, so they will not be able to charge these immense prices for it. Since about 1.6 million people are dying every year due to water-related diseases in poor developing countries, we must begin helping these nations around the world. A way to get one step closer to achieving this goal is by signing Article 31. Article 31 is a petition put forth by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which states, "Everyone has the right to clean and accessible water, adequate for the health and well-being of the individual and family, and no one shall be deprived of such access or quality of water due to individual economic circumstance." Become an advocate of changing the world for the better by signing Article 31 and giving everyone in the world what is rightfully theirs: clean, accessible water. I'm Miko, and I'm signature number 43,223. What number will you be? The 1,000-mile journey all begins with one single step.